A very good morning, everyone. Welcome to StudyIQ English. Welcome to the Hindu newspaper class with me for 16th March 2026. So, here for today's newspaper, the Delhi edition, we have about 7 articles, but then two of them I have chosen to combine into one because both of them were dealing with the West Asian war. So, therefore, two were combined into one. That's Article 4 and 5. And then for the remaining, of course, we have diverse set of articles. We shall start from the editorial page, yes, which is page number 6. Okay. So page number 6 editorial. And before I start, here's the QR code to the Telegram channel. And I'm really happy to see the increasing, overwhelming response to the questions. People are polling, they are responding, and that's wonderful. I think answering and participation are the best ways to develop confidence before the prelims exam. And before I start with the first article editorial, that's oil prices reflect geopolitical risk, not only supply. Quite an interesting article, GS Paper 2 International Relations as well as GS Paper 3 Energy Security. Okay, energy security. Definitely it's related to the war again. It is related to the war in West Asia. Let's see what the article says step by step. But before I do that, here's giving a warm welcome and lots of blessings and love to my dear students who are here, including Terukula, Sitaram, Kaizen, Pranarthi, Chaitanya, Bulbul, many more code names: Chandan, Sharlok, Madhav, Krishna, Yuvraj, Shinobi, Eric, Bhavna, Sharlok, Kundan, Santosh, Kavish, Jonah, Vikash, Curious, Ramu, Shlok, and Reshma. Very good morning, everyone. Let's see what the first article from the editorial page has to say. The article is talking about oil supply. Yes, the article is saying that today, in this 2026 world, the problem is that oil security is barely dependent on supply. Long back, we used to worry about supply. What if OPEC creates a supply shock? So, whenever the oil exporting countries, including the Gulf countries, mainly the GCC countries, they used to reduce or fluctuate their supply. That's the time countries like India would have insecurity that now what to do? What to do about oil security? But today things have changed a lot. Now it's hardly about oil supply. There are competitors in the market. You have the Brent oil coming from Gulf. You have the Texas oil coming from the US. Plus, you have the OPEC plus countries. You have Russia. You have Mexico. You have the Ural oil coming from Russia. You have the West Asian and East African countries. They have oil supply. They can give you oil. But today, oil security is less about supply side. It's more about geopolitical uncertainty. And that's what we are seeing in 2025 throughout. We are looking at how US first captured Venezuela. Now Venezuela has some of the most largest known oil reserves in the world, and still Mr. Maduro was captured. Absolute Operation Absolute Resolve. Why? Because now even leaders like Mr. Trump understand that today in this world, if you have to rule, if you want to prosper with MAGA, make America great again, there is one thing that's non-negotiable, and that's oil resource. The world is a very oil hungry and resource hungry place right now. And we are seeing since last year, whatever is going on, we are seeing what happened in the case of Venezuela. So this article is saying that global crude prices have risen sharply in the past few months. Too much increase in global fuel price, but only because of geopolitics. It is hardly about demand supply. It's mostly about geopolitical problems. But why have oil prices suddenly become so high? Obviously, because of constant war in West Asia. Now, if you look at West Asia, it is a region that is characterized by almost permanent war situation. We can't deny that Israel Palestine is an issue that continues unabated. It is an issue that has barely ever stopped. We know that repeated initiatives, right from Oslo Accord to Camp David Accord to Abraham Accord, nothing was successful because Israel doesn't believe in the two-state solution. Yes? And it was long back during the Six-Day War that Israel had made its intention very clear that I want to capture West Bank, I want Sinai, I want Golan Heights. Israel has been believing in outright expansion. Then there are other countries of the world, particularly Arab countries, who do support the cause for a Palestinian state. Very good, Terukula. Camp David Accord, the Cold Peace Treaty. But nothing of them could bring any two-state solution. So what's the reality today? You have a Gaza Peace Board in which India is also an observer. All these countries, sometimes Oman, sometimes US, they keep mediating, but there is hardly any resolution. In fact, Israel is now trying to expand Jewish civil settlements into all the captured areas of West Bank. So there is no peace. And very good, Prasad. Like last year, we have seen the 12-day war. Absolutely. So the war has continued. There is no solution. That's one side of the war. But unfortunately, now there is another war. And this new war is much more dangerous because Israel Palestine is at least a valid war about territory and occupation and settlement. But what about the current war in the world between US plus Israel versus Iran? Now, this is the most inexplicable war that we have seen in our life. What's the agenda of the war? What do the key players want here? Nobody understands. We can't even call it a war, it's a one sided provocation because the attackers, including US and Israel, Operation Epic Fury plus Operation Roaring Lion, both these were about forcing Iran to stop nuclear enrichment, uranium enrichment, but later the demand was to change your regime. Later, today both of them are saying we want Iran's existence to be threatened, and that's not possible. And that's not possible because Iran is not a country that believes in surrendering. We know now Mr. Mujtaba Khamenei is here as the new supreme leader, and he says we are not going to end any uranium enrichment, neither are we going to surrender in front of the US. Plus, we have already spoken about asymmetric war and saturation strategy. Yes? So now what's happening? Yes, absolutely, Shlo. The motive of the war is not clear. And now, recently, because of this US versus Iran, we have seen oil prices have risen from about $57 per barrel in December 2025 to now 118 rupees per barrel. Now, do you understand how high that price is? Do you realize what repercussions it has for economies that are developing in a gigantic manner like India and China, who are always fuel hungry? Massive manufacturing sector, great export potential. Where are we going to be without oil? There's no future. There is no global trade happening, and the price $118 per barrel, and that's a very high price, historically high price. And even though the prices are slightly better, initially 118 and then slightly better to $100, but still, war and geopolitics have made sure that uncertainty in oil prices will continue. Now, it's very unfortunate because for a country like India, who is now trying to really gallop towards the fourth and maybe soon the third largest economy, an economy that's moving on the path of Atmanirbharta, self-reliance, it means a loss. As who said? Shlok says. A major loss in current account deficit. Very good. A major loss because then what happens? All our trade dealings with various other countries become negative. We start experiencing a negative balance of trade. Why does that happen? Because we are the key importers of crude and energy. You know that in India, about 88 to 90% of crude energy is imported. We aren't self-sufficient here and it hurts us very much. Now, why has it happened in the real sense? What's the main reason behind this problem? So the main reason behind this problem has been the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz. By now, we are all thorough with the Strait of Hormuz. And very soon, in one of the articles, we will see the map also. Now, what is happening right now? Strait of Hormuz is the key strategic choke point. You all understand that. Today, if I ask you, Bacha, what does Strait of Hormuz connect? I have a confidence that all of you will be able to tell me that Strait of Hormuz is the area where UAE, Oman, they poke into Iran. Yes, and it's a very narrow choke point. It connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and then eventually it connects it to the Arabian Sea. You all have seen that, haven't you? Yes? Now, very, very good, Reshma. Brilliant. Persian Gulf to Gulf of Oman and then to the Arabian Sea. Now it is closed. Why is it closed? Because Iran controls it. As a retaliation, Iran will stop it. Why will Iran not control that? Iran has been unilaterally attacked and provoked throughout. Sensitive areas in Iran. Qeshm Island. Qeshm Island is one of the rare coral freshwater islands in the Strait of Hormuz, attacked because it has the largest desalination of water plant. They are attacking civilian infrastructure. They are breaking down the Geneva Convention, international humanitarian law. Later, another island in Iran. What's that island? Kharg Island, also attacked because it has the largest oil terminal of Iran. So, what does it mean? Will Iran not retaliate? Of course, it will. And now it has. Strait of Hormuz is closed. 30% of global oil supply has gone for a toss. And what about Bab el Mandeb and Suez Canal? Now, both these are important as well because Bab el Mandeb and Suez Canal are the areas which connect the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea, then to the Gulf of Aden, and finally into Arabian Sea. Yes, near Yemen. That is also a strategic choke point. And now, about 10% of seaborne crude oil comes from Bab el Mandeb. All these areas are under conflict right now. If Iran is closing Hormuz, then yes, there are the Houthi rebels. Who are the Houthi rebels, bache? Houthi rebels are non-state actors of terror who are supported by Iran because they are Shia militant group. Where do they operate? You all know that. They operate in northern Yemen area, maximum. Now, will they not try to close Bab el Mandeb Strait? They will. Will they not try to cut undersea cables in the Mediterranean? They will. In the Red Sea, won't they do it? They will. So that's why today all strategic choke points are under threat. Hormuz is shut. And Bab el Mandeb and Suez Canal are not safe either. If all these areas are under conflict, what happens, bacha? What happens, Veda, Madhav? Yes, Swaraj, Vikash? Absolutely, Kundan. It's about axis of resistance. Iran's proxy war. You all are expert now. Houthi, Hezbollah, Hamas, militia. So now what's happening? If all these routes are threatened, ships will not use that route. Why will a commercial ship try to come from Bab el Mandeb or Hormuz when it knows it can be attacked? Plus, freight. Freight has been increased. That's the problem. Then, insurance cost has increased. Oil has become expensive for all the importing countries. And who are the chief main importing countries? India. China. Now, when all the oil comes from Hormuz and Bab el Mandeb, it naturally reaches Arabian Sea. From there to Indian Ocean, India takes that oil, and then further Strait of Malacca, China takes that oil. If Malacca is a problem, then Sunda Strait. Everybody in my class should know about it. Then Sunda Strait. Finally, it goes to China. China, South Korea, key importers of oil. But now, oil has become a political weapon. That's the problem. Why? Because after Russia-Ukraine war, Russia has redirected all its oil exports to South Asian countries. China and India have continued to be the biggest importers of Russian Ural oil. I know it is slightly heavy and it is slightly bitter. It has the most sulfur content, but India and China have excellent oil refineries that are good at desulfurization of Russian oil. It's a cheap oil. Why is it cheap? Because US and Europe has put sanctions on Russian oil. So from 2022, Russian oil is coming at a throwaway price, at a cheap price. China and Russia have created new payment system. They are into de-dollarization as a part of BRICS. They both deal in crude oil prices in yuan, not in US dollar. They are trying to break the petrodollar dominance now. So therefore now what's happening? It is politics that is determining the price of oil. It is not supply. It's not supply. Now, financial markets are also impacting oil price because oil is traded not only physically but also in financial market, futures, derivatives. So, price rise will impact investor speculation, fear of further conflict, expectation and insecurity about further future oil supply. So, what's happening? Oil prices are in reality they will keep on moving upwards even if the supply doesn't change. Even if supply is good, even if there is a good supply chain, still there will be an inflationary pressure because prices are just bloating up and consistently bloating up. That's the whole problem here. Do you realize that? And now another thing is, what's the role of strategic petroleum reserve here? If I was to ask you, what do you mean, Bacha, by strategic petroleum reserve? Now, strategic petroleum reserve, listen, is emergency oil stock that is used to handle supply shock and stabilize the market. Yes? Example, the G7 countries. Do you remember what had I spoken about the G7 countries, Bacha? Yes, that's a good question, Yuvraj. We'll shortly come to that. Okay. Now, G7 countries. Initially, it was G8 countries, but you all understand, as the Russia-Ukraine war started, Mr. Trump, in order to teach a lesson to Russia for attacking Ukraine, which is a NATO ally, for a very long time, removed Russia from G7. And now, therefore, it has become a G7 country, not G8 country, because Russia has exited. Very good. Although in the recent few months, Mr. Trump is indicating that we may call Mr. Putin back and make it G8 again, but still there is no clarity right now. Okay, so these are strategic oil reserves. We all know India also has two underground facilities, especially when it comes to LPG, LNG, and they are in the form of underground caverns. Where are these located? Largest in Mangaluru, Karnataka. Second, Vishakhapatnam. So very well said there. Okay, very good, Vikash. Thanks for reminding about the Ukraine-Russia border. Yes. Very good, Ramu. All these are the G7 countries. Absolutely perfect. So now, for example, G7. G7 has now decided to release about 400 million barrels to relax and to create a peace in the market, to satisfy consumers that we have extra oil, don't worry. What's the purpose? To stabilize the oil price, to reduce panic in the global market, because everyone is getting panicky right now. And in panic, what happens? People start hoarding and they start doing black marketing of products, which is not nice. That's why even India has invoked the Essential Commodities Act. The purpose is now to reduce hoarding and black marketing across products like petroleum, kerosene, LPG, and LNG. But still, one thing is very clear. You might today have a question that the whole world is shifting towards renewable energy. India says, I want to become carbon neutral by 2070. But still, so much we are dependent on oil. Why like that? Why? Very good, Reshma. International Energy Agency has also released extra flow in the market. Brilliant. And still people are worried. Why? Because although we are all moving towards renewable energy, countries are investing in solar energy, International Solar Alliance, Belém Brazil Conference. Yes? India's critical minerals mission. All of that is there. But still the problem is oil is the backbone of transportation. Oil is the backbone of aviation sector. Oil is the backbone of petrochemical and refined petroleum products. So therefore, global oil demand is still more than 105 million barrels per day. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that, Bachche? Isn't it shocking to you that despite all the bid for nuclear and renewable energy, Shanti Bill, nuclear privatization, still the world depends on 105 millions barrel per day. That's the demand people have even right now. So why will oil not create a problem? Oil will be a problem, and therefore geopolitics will continue to impact oil markets. What are the implications for us? What are the implications for India? Now, there is one thing that's very clear. For India, we know that about 88% of our crude is imported. Where does it come from? Brent, Gulf. Then Russia Ural oil. In emergency, it comes from US, Texas sweet oil. But one thing is very clear. We must diversify our imports. If we depend on only one supplier, for example, 100% on Russia, then we will attract sanctions from US, tariff. If we depend only from US, we will exhaust all our money. We can't afford that. Huge supply chain is involved. If we depend only on West Asia, then this is what happens. When there's a war, choke points get closed. And majority of our oil is coming from Hormuz anyway. So one thing is very clear. Let us try to now import, diversify. Let's make sure we have multiple partners to purchase from, which should include Russia, no matter how much threat Mr. Trump continues to create, because Russian oil is the most easy to achieve. It's very nearby in terms of supply chain and the most cheap oil we can buy right now. Then maintain lot of refining capacity. We must have a flexible refining capacity. Now, for example, today there is a situation that Hormuz doesn't open easily. You know that American oil is unaffordable, plus it's time taking. The route is lengthy, transatlantic route. What's the third choice? Russia. Today, imagine if Russia also inflates the price too much price. Then should we not try to import from West and East African countries? Countries like Namibia, which have great oil reserve? Should we not little bit allow to buy from Venezuela? Because now US is ready to sell Venezuelan oil also at a cheap price. But what does it need? What does all this need? If you are diversifying your import, I'll take from Russia also, I'll take from Brent also, I'll take from America also, Africa also, Venezuela also. You need more desulfurization plant for that, Vikash. Yes, our refineries have to be flexible. They have to have an excellent capacity in order to do desulfurization. Otherwise, this thick oil is going to damage our oil pipelines. So that is something we must do. It's the need of the hour. Refinery upgrading. Yes. Then energy security now doesn't depend on supply. So therefore, try to have a much more stable relations with all the countries across the world. India already believes in dehyphenation. This is the time dehyphenation is going to give us result. Because now it's not about supply. Now it's purely about geopolitics. So therefore, the more friendly relations you have with other countries, the better you have the capacity to continue your import and use shipping routes. Because global oil prices are very vulnerable, and financial markets are also vulnerable to politics right now. And whenever there is a monopoly of nations like US, there will always be a problem, there will always be a geopolitics. Yes? Wonderful. So what is Jamnagar? Yes, Vikash, now that you are mentioning the Reliance refinery, Jamnagar, is it not the world's largest oil refinery? If I am wrong, then please correct me. Now that Shlok is mentioning, now that Shlok is talking about Jamnagar, I want my students to confirm me. Is it not the largest oil refinery in the world? Please give your suggestions. Yes? So today you will have a fun time in class because all the articles are about geopolitics. But then there is one article that's going to make you laugh. I myself am laughing since 6 o'clock in the morning. I laughed so much that I got exhausted. What to do? Article is only like that. We are going to talk about it now. Yes, it is. Very good, Sanghamitra. Gujarat. Yes. Quickly, the question. Consider the following statements regarding the global oil market and geopolitical tensions. 1. A significant portion of global oil trade passes through Strait of Hormuz, making it one of the most critical maritime choke points for energy security. Second, strategic petroleum reserves are emergency oil stocks maintained by countries to manage supply disruption and stabilize domestic energy market during a crisis like war or pandemic. 3. Oil price in global market are influenced not only by physical supply but also by geopolitical developments and financial speculation. So what's the right answer here? Let me quickly see who initiated answering. So it was initiated from Reshma and then Madhav Terukula, then Sumed Vikash, Shlok and Kaizen, Rajneshwar, Zenith, Bhavna, very good. Jonah, Chaitanya, Ramu, Priyanshu, very, very good. Veda, Curious, Yuvraj, Elvin, Swaraj, Krishna, very good. D is the right answer. There is no split this time. All my students have given the right answer because all these are valid, Eric and Krishna. Very good. A big round of applause. Now, Yuvraj, that usually happens because it's the amount of physical area of a particular strait or a choke point that falls within your territory. Now, if you look at the map, we will see that map soon. You will see the strait almost entirely lies in the Iranian area. So it's a lot of rules that are applicable here. Say, for example, an area could be well within your exclusive economic zone. It could be within the high sea area, but it could be very near to your contiguous zone, to your continental shelf. So the more the presence of a country into the maritime area, the more control it usually has in that region. A very good example could be Strait of Malacca also. You can assume that no country should own Strait of Malacca. Yes, no country owns Strait of Malacca. Definitely it doesn't. But if you see today, who is the one who is controlling it? Then it's usually controlled from Indonesia, Malaysia. It's controlled from countries like Singapore. You would argue why? That happens because it is lying within their area, within their contiguous zone. So there are various UNCLOS rules, nautical miles, all of that determine the ownership. And that's why in the case of Bab al-Mandeb, it's Yemen. And in the case of Hormuz, it is Iran that maintain a more overwhelming domination in that region. Okay. Thank you so much, Sanghamitra. That's very kind of you. I'm so happy. Okay. So very well answered. Very same with Swiss Canal also. You might argue about Egyptian interference, but that's geopolitics. And what is geopolitics, bache? What is geopolitics? Politics that's based on geography is geopolitics. Politics that's rooted in geography. It's your geographical area that also determines your control of strategic choke points. Yes? Okay. Wonderfully answered, everyone. Very, very proud. Now, second article, also editorial. Please focus, bacha. Building India's climate resilience with water at the center. Okay, water at the core. So this is GS paper 3 because we are looking about environment, climate change, global warming and water security. Now this is the last theoretical article for the day because after this you will really enjoy yourself. After this, we are only going to talk about two most fascinating personalities in human history. So after this, our class will be about Mr. Trump and Mr. Kim Jong, who has done something amazing yesterday. We are going to talk about that, so stay tuned. Let's finish this article quickly. GS Paper 3, Climate and Environment. Okay? All right. Very good, Shlu. SDG 6, 14 and 15. All sustainable development goals that deal with climate change and mitigation. Wonderful. Now, what's this article saying? Very good, Vikash. What are we talking about? Listen carefully. Article says COP30 Summit. Conference of Party 30. Where was it happening? It happened in Belém, in Brazil, in the heart of Amazon rainforest, bache. Yes, Terukula, absolutely, bache. It happened in the heart of Brazil, in the heart of Amazon rainforest. Yes. Now, Brazil is the largest country in Latin America. You know that, right? You also know Brazil has a common border. Brazil shares the border with all South American countries except two. By now, everybody should know. One is Chile, and the other one also my students know, so I'm not telling, you know. Okay. So, COP30 Summit is a very unique summit. Why is it unique? It is unique because it is about implementation. Very good, Reshma. Chile and Ecuador. Brilliant, bache. Very good. The problem is that, bacha, when COP30 summit happened, everybody was skeptical about it. That in the past we have had so many COP30, COP summits, Conference of Party summits have happened. Paris Agreement 2015 has not been implemented. Kyoto Protocol 1997 was also not implemented. So what's the big deal about COP30 summit? Let it be. It's just nothing but a global time pass now. But that's not the reality. This time countries like India, Brazil, Mexico, all these countries of the global south have proven that COP has a value because if not to the rich countries like US and EU, at least it matters to the global south in a major way. So what's happening? For the first time, this is a summit of implementation. This is a summit of implementation because for the first time, COP focused on practical action and result that can be measured on ground. In terms of climate adaptation, this summit is not about fake promises. It's not a farce. It is about implementation, bacha. Why like that? Because climate change is not on theory now. 20 years before, climate change was in books. Climate change was on paper, not in reality. But today, we know that you and I are facing the brunt of climate change. Now, if you remember, when we were young, and we are not talking about like all of us must be in 20s, late or early, right? Now, imagine when we were young, during summer vacation. It's a very small example, a very humble example. I was also teaching this thing to some of the students who were writing essays on climate change. I said, you can write these examples because essay has to be very personalized, okay, and very experiential. That we used to play in the sun. in the summers. In winters, I remember those who have had an experience of living in Delhi NCR. It was a very good time to roam out, to be out, to eat all sort of things, to visit the places. But today, if you see, for the generation that's coming now, for children who are 5 to 6 year old, when did we ever use a mask? I don't remember in my childhood ever having to use a mask because Delhi is polluted, because there is a heat wave, so don't play outside. I don't remember reading labels on food products. I mean, really, I don't. And still, we had quite a healthy childhood, honestly saying, and we are thankful for that. But today, if you see the reality, things have changed. Things have changed. Every summer, already they are warning that in Delhi, the temperatures are easily going to cross 45 degrees, very easily. Dangerous for people to step out. You must stay indoors. Winters, stay indoors because you can't breathe. Those who are going for morning walks are developing lung problems because air is so polluted. Is that not a brunt of climate change? The fact that fishing communities, people who live in the coastal areas, are now getting submerged. The fact that the Doomsday Glacier is now breaking down. COVID pandemic. What all are we seeing? And this war is only going to add to climate change. It's not going to help. Yesterday I was very touched. I was having a Zoom interaction with one of my students. She said that, ma'am, all the rules are meant for common people. For us, there is the rule that please use paper straw. Don't use napkins. Children should not use diapers and women should switch to menstrual cups. We should not consume plastic cups and we should not use polythenes. All these rules are for common people. And what about these people sitting in West Asia for no reason who are enjoying ballistic missiles and for no reason who are dealing with cheap drones? All these people, the kind of talent, the kind of, hypocrisy it takes to tell a common person to control carbon footprint, and then the wars that are happening for the last 4 years. What about the climate footprint of that? What about the climate impact of that? Is that okay? Is that okay? You can wage a war, an ego war, and that's okay, that's acceptable. But for a common person, you can't even use a plastic straw. So, what kind of climate change mitigation are we looking at? And unfortunately, who pays the price? Common man pays the price. It's always the common person who pays the price. Why? Because now climate change is not on paper, it's right here. You and I, common people are facing the impact of climate change. Floods are submerging cities. Gurugram, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Punjab, what's happening? Droughts are impacting agriculture and rural livelihood. In states like my state, I can talk about Uttarakhand. Villages are becoming ghost village. People are relocating, they are leaving the villages, they are deserted now. There's no livelihood available. There's no groundwater. There's nothing to depend upon. Glaciers are melting. You know about the Thwaites Glacier, Doomsday Glacier in West Antarctic. If that melts completely, then 60% of island nations are gone below the sea. Sea water is entering coastal groundwater. There is a total devastation of mangrove ecosystems, irregular monsoon, and a complete food crisis. This is the reality. Landslides, land submersion, flash floods, you name it. Land subduction, absolutely. This is what people like you and I are living in right now. So what was wrong when nations like India and Mexico made this pitch during the COP30 summit at Brazil? They said that for rich countries, it's still on paper, but for the global south, it's a reality that we are living and breathing every day. So therefore, we must force countries like US to fulfill their obligations under Paris Agreement 2015. You can't walk out of agreements whenever you want to. This is not nice. This is climate dictatorship, and you can't do that. We need green justice today. We need blue justice today. So therefore, India said as the voice of the global south that US must pledge, and all the developed countries must pledge $1.3 trillion finance fund, carbon finance fund, to the developing countries for climate mitigation by 2035. At the same time, we must create a TFFF, Tropical Forest Forever facility. Because under this new COP30, there are two main areas that we are focusing upon. One, climate resilient water system, and second, risk and disaster governance. What about the first one? Climate resilient water system. Countries must reduce water scarcity, prepare for flood and droughts, ensure safe drinking water for all, and build climate resilient sanitation system for everyone. Second, what about disaster and disaster governance? We must establish a multi-hazard. What is hazard? Danger. multi-hazard early warning system by 2027. We must strengthen weather and climate data services. Update national climate vulnerability assessment by 2030. That means adaptation should be measured and implemented globally. No country can escape whenever it wants to. And India has already taken many initiatives. What about our country? What have we decided to do? We have integrated water governance. Now, let's not forget that in 2019, just before the COVID pandemic, India created the Jal Shakti Ministry. The Jal Shakti Ministry was created to manage water resources in India. Plus, we have another very interesting program that's referred to as NAQUIM. And what does that mean? What does that mean? National Aquifer Mapping Program. That is measuring the water in aquifers and creating management plans. If you remember, few years back there was an area in Uttarakhand, Joshimath. There, when there was a digging going on, one of the underground aquifers got punctured. It got drilled. And then what happened? Entire land got crumbled. There was a land subsidence. The houses of poor people came crumbling down. So therefore, we need programs like National Aquifer Mapping Program, the Jal Jeevan Mission. Very good. Very good. Then, river restoration, Namami Gange. National Mission for Clean Ganga focuses on sewage treatment, biodiversity conservation, and digital river monitoring. Very important initiatives, yes. Very good, Reshma. This must again endorse the idea of G20 summit. G20 summit for the first time that was held in South Africa, Johannesburg, all because of India. Why because of India? I am taking credit as an Indian because it was in 2023 when India was leading the G20 that India invited African Union to become a permanent member of G20. So first time the summit happened there. And what was the theme that emerged? What Reshma is saying, Ubuntu. I am there because you are there. All of us are together. Joint climate action. Then COP30 summit, Muti Rao. Joint collective action towards climate change. Yes, Muti Rao. Very good. That was Ubuntu. This is Muti Rao. Correct. But what are the main challenges for India? India faces water scarcity. There is an uneven water distribution because rivers are not evenly distributed. Naturally, it depends on topography and geography. Then there are water-related disasters. There is a lack of adaptation finance. Today, we are demanding 1.3 trillion annually for climate change by 2035. But is there a promise that countries like US and EU nations will give it to us? There is no promise. And how will we force them? That's the biggest thing. Here, Muti Rao plays an important role. Collectively put pressure on them to give you that money. It's their duty to give you that money. They had promised it under a legally binding agreement, 2015 Paris Agreement, under UNFCCC. Yes? Then India has another problem of weak data integration. India has large hydrological data, but AI-based real-time integration and governance is not there. So what can we do as a country today? As a country, we must integrate water policies with climate policies. We must conduct public awareness at reducing pollution of water bodies and respecting our wetlands. Now, India's number of wetlands are only increasing. India's number of wetlands are only increasing now. How many wetlands do we have in total? Can anybody tell me? Is it 98 or is it 100 already? Yes? Can anybody please tell me? How many wetlands do we have? We have spoken about Kopra Jalashay. We have spoken about Silser Lake. So many of them we keep talking about. Do we have 97 or do we have 100? Recently, in the Bunny grasslands in the Kutch area, there's another wetland that has been added. Is it 98 or 100 or is it 97? I'm asking a question. Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam, the compulsory initiative taken by CBSE, NCERT, being implemented in all the government and government finance schools. Yes, very good. So total we can today boast of 98 wetlands. India is close to touch 100. Recently, the Patna Bird Sanctuary. Very good. Absolutely. The Patna Bird Sanctuary and also one from Kutch area. Kutch area also. Very, very good. Very good, Kundan. The Patna Bird Sanctuary. And where is it located? Yes, that's the thing. That's the controversial thing to remember. Very well said. Located in Uttar Pradesh. Now, Uttar Pradesh is also improving its number of wetlands day by day now. And that's wonderful because the more the wetlands, the more the commitment India is showing towards Ramsar. Yes? Brilliant, everyone. The Chari Dhand in Gujarat. And where is it located? Banni grassland, largest grassland in Asia, known for a very unique, mysterious, paranormal kind of phenomena called Cheer Batti phenomena. We have studied all of that. All right. So, what should India do then? Treat water projects as climate investment, improve resilience in agriculture, in cities and sanitation, because ultimately, now even our Honorable Supreme Court says if in the Constitution we have Article 21 called right to life, then right to a clean environment, clean breathing air, and clean drinking water is a part of Article 21. It's every bit the right to life. Yes? Beautiful, Vikash. If you have the Ramsar Convention of 1971 implemented in 1975, India adopted in 1982. At the same time, there is a Montreux record. It's a part of Ramsar and it deals with those special wetlands that are experiencing a threat of degradation, anthropogenic degradation. In India, which ones do we have? Keolado and the Loktak Lake, Manipur. Loktak, also known for its phenomena called Kebul Lamjau National Park, the same area that's also known for Fumdi phenomena, floating vegetation phenomena. Very good. Brilliant. Now, quickly, let's look at the question. Good, Vikash. Indeed, it's about FRA. Consider the following statements regarding global climate adaptation efforts at COP30. Answers are coming in. I don't see a split. What's happening with my students today? What did you do on weekend? What did you eat on Sunday? What this new enlightenment has come in just one day, that no split now? One, the BLIM adaptation indicators under the UAE framework for global climate resilience include targets related to climate resilient water and sanitation system. Second, the framework mandates that all countries must completely phase out. What do you mean by phase out? Completely remove groundwater extraction by 2030 to reduce climate vulnerability. And three, universal multi-hazard early warning system by 27 have been proposed as a part of global climate adaptation governance. Which of these are valid? There is no split in the class. And then the answer is A, and I am helpless person. I cannot do anything. As the Yuvraj says, today I cannot be the Shakuni version of myself. No nasty smile, no sadism. I have to just bow down and clap. Very well answered, everyone. Made me proud again. Beautiful. So I don't know what magic has happened over the weekend, but then everyone is valid right now. Yes, there is some sudden enlightenment that has struck my class, and I hope that is there forever. Now, who started answering? Reshma did once again. Very good, Reshma. Very quick and very apt. Reshma, Madhav, Vikash, then code names Sumed, Kavish, Sitaram, Terukula, Rajneshwar, Veda, Bhavna. Okay, very well done. Very well done, everyone. Kundan, Chetna, good. Yes, indeed, the answer is A. Second is invalid. No rule says that by 2030, completely stop doing groundwater extraction. No. In fact, if you look at India, there are states like Tamil Nadu, there are states like Kerala, there are states like Punjab, Haryana. Many states are still too much depending upon the underground water. So it happens. There's no such rule. Okay, well done. So then A is the right answer. Okay, now enough of talking of climate change and enough of talking about other things. Now is the time we can actually enjoy our favorite topic, that's geopolitics for the day. And I have combined two articles here. You know why have I combined? You can come to know by looking at the screen itself. So all this is now Bache GS paper 2, international relations, and I hope you enjoy the geopolitics now. Bihar also. Chhattisgarh also, very good, Vikash. That's a major problem, and that's why people are suffering, because groundwater in India is very polluted now. Well pointed out. Yes, now time comes to deal with the two revolutionary leaders in the world, Mr. Trump versus Mr. Kim Jong, and hence I have combined all these articles. So sit back and enjoy the class. What are these articles? 1. Trump's tenure sees the highest external attacks in 10 years, in a decade. Second, US not ready for a deal with Iran. Now you will be shocked. What you're going to read is unimaginable. Yes, Sumedh, Kundan, see what they are saying. US is not ready for a deal with Iran. Listen now. I may hit Kharg Island for fun. I may hit Kharg Island for fun, unquote, said by Mr. Trump. It's a front page news. I may hit Kharg Island for fun. Are you serious? You are going to hit? Is it a kind of game you are playing in a game arcade? Sir, this is World War. I'm going to hit Kharg Island for fun. So now this is a very revolutionary geopolitical statement that I have seen. I am actually myself in a state of shock. And one more thing has happened parallelly that we shall proceed with. In North Korea, something new has started happening. Now, in the last 2 days, Mr. Kim Jong, the leader of North Korea, has been telling his military, his army, to be extremely prepared, ready for war. He has now upgraded and arranged all the ballistic missile. In the last 2 days, he has tested all those missiles. There were loud explosions that are being heard, and everything is ready. He's just ready to attack. But, a bigger question. Attack whom? Attack whom? He is saying we are ready for war. Global media is asking, sir, with whom? Who is the enemy? You have declared war, but against whom? With whom are you planning to fight? And no answer came. So what are we doing? What is going on? What kind of a global politics is that? I'm ready to attack. But sir, whom are you ready to attack? Who is provoking you? What has happened? Why are you feeling disturbed? What's your insecurity? It's not a small threat that you are giving, but the problem is war is against whom? Don't know. That is the suspense. He's not telling against whom is he ready to take a war. Now look at the funny situation we are grappling with. So now let's proceed with what has happened in the first two articles. All right. So these two articles are talking about how Mr. Donald Trump, as the second tenure, in his second tenure as the president of US, has created a sharp increase in military interventions abroad America. It is under him that America has done one of the maximum external invasion and external intervention. If you see the data, then Mr. Trump has promised to become the peacemaker, the mediator, a man who wants Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, wow. If he gets Nobel Peace Prize, I am not teaching Nobel Prizes again. That is a promise I can make today. Whosoever can do whatever, I am not going to teach this topic in my life. So he wants Nobel Peace Prize. But the data shows that US military action and conflict have increased tremendously. Tremendously. So what is happening now? Mr. Trump is promising that I am the peacemaker. I am the man who has created peace between Azerbaijan and Armenia. I am the man who is consistently telling Mr. Putin to have peace pact with Ukraine. I am the man who has helped the people of Venezuela by removing the evil dictator Mr. Maduro. I am the man who is creating the Gaza Peace Board. I am the man who was creating resolution between Thailand and Cambodia, the pre-Vaihir controversy. And I am the person because of whom India stopped Operation Sindoor. So I am the peacemaker. I will get Nobel Peace Prize. If I don't get it, I will snatch it from Miss Kakadu. That's fine. If I don't get, I will call her to my house and I will say, please give me. And she will give also. But I want the prize. Simple. That's the thing. By hook or by crook. But if you see the data, then data is saying something completely different. Data is not saying this. Data is not supporting his claims. Why? Because on paper he says, I want to end war. I want the peace prize and I am the peacemaker. But what does the data say? Data is saying America has carried out so many military interventions that now American citizens are frustrated with the government. Example, America has been doing a policy that is referred to as a policy called coercive diplomacy. I'm writing it here. Coercive diplomacy. Forceful diplomacy, where you are not negotiating. You are not asking for peace accords. You are attacking another country for getting your desire fulfilled. There are multiple examples to prove that. Hospital ship example, imagine. Again, I will break into laughter if I think about it. So I'm trying not to think. Imagine. What is that? Greenland also, yes. Now the actions, what he's doing is not matching his claims for Nobel Peace Prize. That's the problem. What is the data? Look at the data now. Look at the data. According to the data from Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, ACLED, 663, I repeat, 663 US military interventions have happened during the first year of Mr. Trump's second term. What did these include? These included airstrikes, drone attacks, missile attacks, military operations in so many other countries, surveillance drones in many others, naval capturing in many others. This is the highest number of American external invasion in the last 15 years, by the way. And what are the major attacks? One, Yemen. We all know about Yemen, don't we? Yemen. We all know Yemen. What has happened in Yemen? Yemen, an area that's divided between two countries, between two parts, sorry. Northern Yemen, Houthi, controlled by Iran. Southern Yemen, proxy war between Saudi and UAE. Yes, Southern Transitional Council. Now, what did US do? Yemen accounts for 60% of US attacks in the last 10 years. To support its ally Saudi Arabia in the name of maintaining peace and security in Yemen, because Yemen has a very long border with Saudi Arabia, the area where you have Asir mountain range, Mr. Trump has done 60% of total attacks that happened in Yemen came from US. US has targeted the Houthis. Why? Because on paper, he says Houthis are attacking the ships in the Red Sea. Houthis are cutting down the undersea cables in the Red Sea. So we will attack them. 1,400 deaths have happened only because of American attacks, and these include civilians. This includes humanitarian crisis, starvation, and lack of medical care. Now let's move to Somalia. What about Somalia? Somalia, you all know. Horn of Africa. Very near Somalia land, recognized by Israel. Yes, Somalia is known for piracy. Somalia is the hotbed of another military terror group called Al-Shabaab. Somali. Horn of Africa. Somalia accounts for 30% of total attacks that are done globally, done by America. US says, I am attacking Al-Shabaab, an extremist group linked to Al-Qaeda. In the process, 40,000 people have died for no reason. No mistake of theirs. There is massive internal displacement. We have spoken about so many refugee camps that are existing and proliferating in these areas. There are often civil strikes done. And now what happens? The area is divided into factions who are keep on conducting civil war for no reason. Then what about other areas? What about US involvement in other regions of the world? The latest example, Venezuela. Mr. Maduro gone, captured. Venezuela is now a colony of US. Very soon Cuba will have the same problem. Greenland is in his radar, and is Iran already attacked? Iran attacked. Lions roar, roaring lions, sorry, plus epic fury. Military operations near the Strait of Hormuz are becoming common. US says, I want to do this because I want to protect the global shipping lanes. Now on the map again, you are seeing Strait of Hormuz today. Yes, and you are seeing all the other important nuclear power plants of Iran like Bushehr. You are seeing Persian Gulf here. You know, Mr. Trump is attacking the area near Hormuz. Why? Because he says this is where majority of global shipping lanes pass from, and I want to protect global sea trade. I want to protect global oil trade. That's what he says. But if now you are doing this, what was the reason you attacked Venezuela? If now you are so worried about global oil security, why did you instigate Iran? Why did you kill Mr. Khamenei? Were they trying to provoke you? No. Were they doing any kind of nuclear proliferation? No. Did they not sign JCPOA? They did. Were they not allowing inspection of an International Atomic Energy Agency? They were. Were they not a part of Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty? They were. Then what right did you have to attack them because they are having an internal protest? There is no right that you have. You have broken down Article 2.4 of UN Charter. You have broken that down. Openly you have done that. And now you are saying, I want to protect Strait of Hormuz. Then why did you attack it in the first place? Why did you break down Geneva Protocol? Absolutely. By attacking two areas, including the Quesham Island, the narrow-shaped island here, arrow-shaped island you can see here, Quesham. And then another one called Kharg here on the map. Why are you attacking these two? One has desalinization plant, other is the largest oil export terminal. Didn't you think? Today you are saying, I will attack it for fun. Are you serious? You will attack it for fun? You will attack the largest oil supply terminal of Iran for fun. And then you are saying, I want to protect global oil trade. What is this? Who can say anything to that? Intervention in Venezuela has been the largest military action in Latin America in the last few years, since the 1989 US invasion of Panama happened. These actions are increasing global tension. Big hypocrisy is going on right now. And what about the number of people who are dying, casualties? Oh, they are massive. In 2025, 1,000 people died because of US led operations. The number must be double than that. We are underestimating the figure, of course. Then, joint attack with Israel has reportedly caused thousands of civilian deaths in this area. No account for their lives, none. Many more are going thirsty and hungry, no responsibility. Now, this makes Mr. Trump's second regime one of the most violent periods of US foreign intervention in the last 15 years. And what about the American citizens? What are they saying? Majority of American citizens are not happy. They are disagreeing with these policies. They are saying MAGA was okay, make America great again, until it was only about H-1B visa and it was only about reducing offshoring. But we never wanted a leader to conduct these wars and spend and burn dollars plainly on warfares. We never wanted that. According to a poll done by Reuters, over 40% Americans are opposing the attack on Iran. They are ready to condemn the death of Mr. Khamenei. They want US to withdraw. And all this shows domestic criticism of American leaders' policy. And recently, what happened? Mr. Trump has given an interview with a news company called NBC News Agency. And what did he say? He was asked a question that, sir, when are you planning to leave Iran? Now, Mr. Mujtaba has come. Now, anyway, there is going to be no surrender. What is your plan? So, you know what did he say? First, he laughed loudly. He laughed. And then he said, I know there is going to be no peace pact. I know Iran will not surrender, and I know we will also not, evacuate. So you know what I will do? He laughed loudly and he says, let me attack Kharg Island some more times, maybe just for fun. What should you say? What should I say? Now, last week, Mr. Trump was also asking countries like China, France, Japan, South Korea, UK, that all of you must send your warships to Strait of Hormuz to make sure it is open and safe, to make sure oil trade is smooth in the world. But all these countries refused. They said, we are not sending, sorry. But he doesn't even care. This is second humiliation in the last few months. One was the hospital ship, which was returned from Greenland. We are healthy, go back, take care of yourself. Now, second humiliation. So many countries, his own allies, Britain, France, Japan, South Korea, China, they refused. They said, we are not sending any warships, sorry, you continue, do your circus at Strait of Hormuz, we are not sending. There is no reason to send. You are only doing the war, why will we send our warships and burn our money? Unnecessarily, you are making it a global war. We don't want, sorry, we are not sending. India also said, I am not joining Gaza Peace Board. Only I am an observer. And please, I am not sending any military or defense. Sorry, if you want to do this dance, do it alone. Be solo. We are not interested. Sorry, we have other things to do. So quickly the question. That's the problem. That's the problem, Ram. If there was any such provision, immediate impeachment should have happened. But again, the problem is 40% are opposing, but another 60% are supporting also. They are supporting also. That's the issue. Now, quickly, consider the following statements. 1. The Strait of Hormuz is a critical global choke point through which large share of global oil trade passes. Second, the Houthis are an armed group mainly active in Yemen and have targeted shipping routes in the Red Sea. And 3, the militant group Al-Shabaab operates mainly in Somalia and it has military ties with Al-Qaeda. No split? Are the questions easy? What's happening to my students? What's happening to my students? You are replying like a flashlight in less than 1 second. And if you start doing this kind of response in the mains, in the prelims exam also, imagine what your performance will be. And imagine what a happy lady I will be that. Imagine if the same thing replicates then. Maybe the questions are easy or you are becoming too smart. Tomorrow I will make the questions a little more tough. Tomorrow I understood. Once burnt, twice shy. I will make the questions a little more tough and then see. Actually, it is about some revolution in intelligence, or the questions are easy? Okay, but really well answered. Yes, indeed, the answer is A. Well done, all of you are correct. And let me say who initiated answering. It came from Shlok, Curious Learner, Reshma Madhav, Sitaram Sanghamitra, Vikash Krishna Terukula. Some new students are answering as well. Now, Veda, Jona, Chaitanya Bhavna, Neil Chandra, Sharlok, very good. Kaizan, brilliant. Brilliant. If these are easy, then okay. Now I'm feeling a little intellectually challenged. Tomorrow you wait and watch. I'm not giving you a threat like Mr. Trump does. I'm just saying tomorrow I'm planning to increase the intellectual level of the questions a little bit. Let's see how it goes then. But really well answered. I'm very proud of you. Very well answered. Beautiful. Very well answered. Okay. Now another piece of article for you to actually enjoy. Yes, Terukula. That's also valid, Bache. Very good. Yeah. So I'm thinking that when everyone is breaking down Article 2.4, why should I stop myself? Okay, so open threads are going on. Thank you, Veda. Thank you, Sanghamitra. God bless you, Bacha. Quickly, the next article. Enjoy yourself even more now. What is happening? North Korea conducts test of nuclear capable rocket launchers. Goodness. Nuclear capable rocket launchers. Ballistic missiles and nuclear capable rocket launchers are being tested by North Korea. Repeatedly, he is testing them. Repeatedly. Why? The question is, the war is against whom? Nobody knows. Media is asking, you are ready to fight the war, sir. You are ready. He is very aggressive. Last 2 days he's saying, I'm ready, I'm ready. I just want to press the button. Just tell me, I'm ready to fight. But hold on. Against whom? Who is your enemy? That is the major suspense. Against whom, that we don't know. That is the best part now. Unnecessarily. Last week also he was calling up and telling Iran, can I come? Can I support you in the war? I'm ready with equipment. Iran said no. No. You take care of your health. You sleep properly. You make yourself safe. We don't want. We are self-sufficient. We don't want. Sorry, we don't want. So he was insulted very badly. But now again, I want to fight. I want to fight. Against whom? So that's the article all about. What is the article saying? Article is saying that North Korea has recently been testing nuclear capable rocket launchers, and also it has test fired several ballistic missiles. This has increased tensions in the Korean peninsula. Now on the map you can have a look at the 38th parallel. What's the 38th parallel? Now for a very long time South and North Korea are also proxy wars. If North Korea is getting support from China, Russia, then South Korea gets support from US. It is a US ally in my recorded sessions. So, Bachi, I take care of sociology, IR, and CSAT, essay writing, ethics, and social issues and social justice and current affairs. Okay? All right. Coming back. 38th parallel between North and South Korea. Yes? South Korea is an American ally? Very good. Shlok, well reminded. Now look at the situation. When North Korea is conducting all these missile tests and all, is it not creating insecurity in the Korean peninsula? Of course, it is creating so much insecurity. And why is all this happening? We don't know. With whom is he trying to fight the war? That we don't know. Sorry, we have no idea. Media doesn't know. But one thing we know. We know what has triggered him. Trigger we understand. What's the trigger? Why did he suddenly become so aggressive? Because right now, US and South Korea, US is a key ally of South Korea. Both these countries together are conducting a military exercise, bache. And what's the name of this military exercise? It's called Exercise Freedom Shield. What is it called, bacha? Exercise Freedom Shield. And they do it very often. It's not for the first time that they are doing it. So both these countries are conducting bilateral joint military exercises. Why? Because ultimately, South Korea is afraid of North Korea and China. It is a very big threat to its existence, and its key supporter is US. For US also, South Korea is a very important military base, because in order to control China's ambitions in this entire area, in the South China, East China, Indo-Pacific, America has to support its allies like South Korea, India, Australia, Japan. So the exercise is just a part of that. But what happened? As soon as these exercises started, Freedom Shield, now Mr. Jong got very upset. He is feeling disturbance. Why is he feeling disturbance now? In a way, we can't blame him also. At a very humanitarian level, bacha, you can't blame him also. Now keep yourself in his place for a second. Morning when I was laughing, I did the same thing. I put myself in his shoes. And I thought, imagine, just few months before, Mr. Maduro was captured from his house. It all started with Operation Southern Spear. There was no guarantee that a big thing is going to happen. He was peacefully living in his house, but slowly, US was creating military infrastructure around the coastal area. He took it for granted. He was not serious. Finally, what happened? He got captured. Now, if Mr. Kim Jong will look at that situation, and then he will look at Mr. Khamenei's situation, and then he will look at Cuba, and then his own situation, will he not feel scared? No matter what he is and who he is, but at a very humanitarian level, will he not get nervous? Think about it. There was a media news that after Mr. Maduro was captured, Mr. Jong was not able to sleep for 10 days. That was the fear. That if one dictator can be taken away from his bedroom, then who am I? Next is me. I am also an enemy, right? Therefore, immediately he arranged a meeting and met Mr. Trump. They had a meeting also. He said, I promise I'm not going to do anything. Mr. Trump said, okay, good boy. If you are behaving properly, I will not do anything to you. But now what is happening? South Korea and US are doing joint military exercise. There is US military weapon arsenal everywhere in the coastal area, in the Korean peninsula. Now at a very human level, he is also a human at the end of the day. Come on. A dictator is not a human. He's scared. That's it. It's pure fear, nothing else. That maybe next is my number. That's the thing now. So, what is North Korea doing? In fear and retaliation, he is now testing about 10 ballistic missiles from the western coast of North Korea near Pyongyang, the capital. Then, all these missiles actually traveled up to 340 kilometers. They reached an altitude of 80 kilometers and then finally they fell into the sea. Now, all the other countries got scared. Japan got scared. South Korea got scared that, hey, what happened to him? He was fine 2 days before. Suddenly, bro, what happened to you? What is all this Diwali that you're celebrating? 80 kilometers on the sky, 340 kilometers away. Why are you messing up in the Korean peninsula? What happened to you? All these tests were personally conducted by Mr. Kim Jong. And the dangerous thing is that all these weapons are also using MRLS. What is MRLS? Multiple rocket launcher system. Multiple rocket launcher system, MRLS, which are capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Now he went a step ahead. He is testing nuclear enabled missiles. Why did he do that? Fear. Why did he do that? Insecurity. He is a human after all. All these missiles are just happening as a response to exercise, joint military exercise, Freedom Shield between US and South Korea. That's the intention. Why? Because this exercise called Freedom Shield, it involves thousands of troops from South Korea and the US. And these exercises are now being seen as a threat or a preparation for strategic invasion of North Korea. Now the problem is, even if the exercises are not meant tactical missiles, very good, Charlo. Now the problem is, even if these exercises have no idea to attack Mr. Kim Jong, but back of his mind, he is thinking of Iran situation. He is thinking of Mr. Maduro's situation, and he is worried. Imagine I'm sitting in my house, outside my main door, military exercises are going on, and that too, who is doing? Mr. Trump is doing. Will I not get afraid? Naturally, my internal response will be, I am gone. I am dead. I am abducted now. All the dictators are getting abducted one by one. There is a reason why MBZ and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman are also very scared. There is a reason after Mr. Maduro why Kim Jong is not able to sleep. He is worried. Thousands of US military personnel are rotating near his country. How will he be relaxed? He is seeing it as a provocation. Although they have not provoked. US is saying this is not to attack you. Please don't worry. South Korea is also saying it is just a safety security exercise. We are not going to attack you. Don't worry. But why will he trust them? The problem is, why will he trust them? He is worried. Not just worried, he's very worried. And that's why continuously he is now doing these kind of missile testing. That's what he's doing. Another thing is that what is the strategic area he has chosen to do these missile attacks? Now the area is very funny. The area is called Sea of Japan. Listen carefully. The area where North Korea is conducting these attacks is known as Sea of Japan. I repeat, what is it known as? It is known as Sea of Japan. Yes, Sea of Japan. It is also referred to as the East Sea. Now, this is something you must remember, bache, properly. It is not just called as Sea of Japan, it is also called as the East Sea. Who are the neighboring countries here? Neighboring countries are Japan. Neighboring countries are South Korea. 1 second. My tablet is acting up again. Very good. As expected. The tablet has again died. Every day it is doing these things. I don't know. Time for replacement, I suppose. Okay. Let me just quickly disable it then completely. 1 second, bache. It's not working. So I will disable my tablet. Will it work now? 1 second. 1 second, bacha. Hold on. Okay. Let me see what's happening here. Can we change it through this? Allow me a moment. Okay. I'm so sorry for the disturbance. Again, it has got some problem here. I'm not sure what, but it's just refusing to get initiated for some reason. I'll replace it now. There is an issue. Let's see if we can manage. 1 second. Okay. I'll keep continuing with the article though. I'm not making annotations though. Okay. So now what is happening? I just told you about the sea called East Sea. A sea that is known as Sea of Japan. Who are the neighboring countries? Just remember, it is Japan, it is South Korea. Yeah, the tablet is also upset about Mr. Jong. South Korea, Japan, and the US. All these three countries are now doing high surveillance here because they are worried Mr. Jong will conduct more such attacks in the coming future. And that's something for them to be majorly concerned about. Okay, that's what's happening. That is what is happening. All right, 1 second. I'll just proceed with the PPT here. Okay. I am trying to do that only. Yes, AB. That's what I was trying to do, that it gets removed. But the problem is I'm not able to navigate with the PPT itself. Now I can navigate. Thanks for that idea. Yeah, all good. Yes. Thank you so much. Now it's all fine. I won't be making... Who said that Golu Molu comment? Oh my God. You are taking a risk and you are putting me under risk. Do you know whom we are talking about? For all those who are listening, this is not something I said, it's my students who said. You can check the comment box. Okay. All right. So I'll not make annotations. I'll just continue with the class. So you continue now. So which countries are involved? Japan, South Korea, US, and therefore Southern Korean Peninsula is a very unsafe place right now. But then what's the political message? What's the political message behind all these things that are going on? It's very clear, bache. North Korea is conducting missile tests because US under Mr. Trump is already on a spree of military attacks. So will North Korea be next? We don't know. Are these exercises purely an exercise? Are these exercises purely an exercise that are being done? Is it buffering? Is my video stuck? Yes, there is a buffer. Has the live stopped? Now is it clear? No problem. I'll say it again. No problem. I'll say it again. I'm sorry about the buffering. Just now I was told that it's buffering. Is it clear now? Back to normal? Can everybody hear and see me? Things seem fine at my end. I'm not sure why the buffering started suddenly. It's clear now? Okay. All right. If it's clear, then let's continue. Okay. So, the main thing now is that, yes, after that comment suddenly expired. Okay, now it's fine. Great. So, let's focus quickly. So, what's the possibility now? Now, very good. Thank you so much. Okay. After that only it happened. Is it Shlok? But the tablet is not made in North Korea. Okay. All right. What's the solution now? The solution is possible diplomacy. Possible diplomacy. Why? Because there are reports that Mr. Donald Trump may again try to talk to Kim Jong diplomatically, to have more meetings with him, just like he had during his first tenure of presidency. Okay? But now the thing is that Already they have met. Mr. Trump and Mr. Jong. Now listen carefully. Mr. Trump and Mr. Kim Jong have already met 3 times between 2018 and 2019. That clearly shows, just refresh once, please refresh once. That clearly shows that there is a future worry about the war with North Korea. There is a future worry that Mr. Kim Jong has that things may not be stable in the Korean peninsula. Yes, but now what happens? Now we are yet to see whether these exercises were purely meant to provide security to South Korea as a joint initiative that's regular between both the countries, or was it a strategic response that in future could create existential crisis for countries like North Korea? So let's quickly see this interesting question. But as you see this question, there is a very, very fascinating thing that you should know to answer this question. So let's see what question is that. Okay. Okay. So here's the 4th question on your screen. Let's quickly try to answer. I hope you find it easy though. Consider the following statements. 1. North Korea has tested multiple rocket launcher systems, MRLS, that are capable of carrying nuclear warheads. 2nd, the annual Freedom Shield military exercise is conducted jointly by South Korea and US. You can't see the question? It will come. Maybe it's a delay in sort of, It's not showing the question. I'm surprised. What's happening today? Is the question visible now? Let's wait for a minute. Let's wait for the minute. Already Shlok and Vikash are answering. That's so sweet. I'm sorry for the technical glitches, bache. I'll replace this tablet today. I thought it will be fine, but I'm surprised that this happened. Wait, let's wait. It will come. It will come. It will come. 1 second. It should come now. Can you refresh once? Question also got mute? Okay. We are completely in war then. No problem. Don't worry. If it's happening, we can fix it. Can you refresh your links? No problem. That's so sweet of you, Charlo. But that will be difficult. Let's see. Otherwise, I'll end and continue tomorrow if it's becoming so problematic. Yes. Just see once again. Did the question still come? No. Even after refreshing, it's not there? Even after refreshing, it's not there, is it? Okay, then what I'll do is, bacha, listen to me carefully. I had one more topic to discuss with you. Last one, that was about Supreme Court of India and how the Honorable Supreme Court has said that we must give minimum support price to pulses. But I'll skip that article today and I'll bring that article as a part of current affairs lecture. Okay. And I will read this question out to you. You answer the question to me. Thank you so much. Love all of you, my dear, for cooperating with me. Okay, we'll do it verbally and then I'll end the class right now. And this lecture, that the last article that was on Supreme Court, I'll just make it a current affairs video today and finish it off. Okay, and then tomorrow I'll get this problem fixed. All right? Okay, wonderful. Shlok is saying it's anyway boring. Come on. Okay. So the last question I'm saying verbally, you listen and answer, but thank you, bache. Love you so much for cooperating. Listen carefully. Consider the following statements. 1. North Korea has tested MRLS, multiple rocket launcher systems that are capable of carrying nuclear warheads. 2nd, the annual Freedom Shield military exercise is conducted jointly by South Korea and US. 3rd one, the Dongsha Island, I repeat, the Dongsha Island are located in the East China Sea and are administered by Japan. 3rd one, the Dongsha Island are located in the East China Sea and are administered by Japan. So which of these statements are correct? 1 and 2, 2 and 3, or all of them are correct? Yes. Shlok says first 2 are correct. 3rd one is correct or not? You just tell me 3rd is correct or not, and that's enough. 1, 2, 3 all are correct? Achha, all are incorrect. Okay. 2 are correct. Yes, yes, no, no. Come on. Bikash, what kind of response is that? Yes, yes, no, no. What I'm going to understand with this? 1 and 2 are correct. Tai Thong says 1 and 2 are correct. Eric also says. Ramu says. Third is wrong. Shlok said. Is that something that all of us believe? Yes. Reshma, Vikash, Bhavna, Yuvraj. 1 and 2 are correct. Third is then not correct. Can I presume that majority says third is wrong? Jonah says third is wrong. Massive split. Okay, this is my bad luck. Throughout, you gave all the correct responses. When my time to enjoy came, tablet died off. What bad luck. Otherwise, I would have really enjoyed now. So much split is going on. Third is wrong. Third is wrong. Okay, so what's the answer here? So still very well tried, everyone. Indeed, the answer is B. 1 and 2 are correct and third is totally wrong. Now, why is the third answer wrong? Why is the third option wrong? Listen. Why? Because the Dongsha Island is also called as Pratas Island. I repeat, bache, Dongsha Island is called Pratas Island. They are strategically located coral atolls in the northern South China Sea. Who controls them? They are controlled by Taiwan. I repeat, Dongsha Island, Pratas Island are controlled by Taiwan, but they are claimed by China. And they are situated near major shipping lanes, about 320 kilometer close to Hong Kong. It's a very strategic area, bache. It's near Hong Kong. It's owned by Taiwan and it is demanded by China. China demands them, but actually it is Taiwan who controls them. And where are they located? In the northern part of South China Sea. Yes? So very well done, everyone. Now that you can't see the screen, I'll also end it here. But the last article was nothing. It's just that the Honorable Supreme Court is saying, let us give more minimum support price to Indian farmers now. Why do we need to give them? Because in India, people are only consuming wheat and rice. And that not only creates health problem, it is difficult because soil gets infertile through excessive use of pesticides and fertilizer. So let's start giving MSP on pulses also. It will not only improve the protein intake of our population, it will also improve soil fertility by India. So very well said, Anup. Very well said, everyone. Okay. All right, then allow me to take your leave. And everyone is laughing and saying that the class was hijacked by North Korean technology. My tablet died because I was criticizing North Korea. But I'm saying the tablet is not manufactured in North Korea. But was it some kind of a cyber attack, or really nowadays even speech is under surveillance against Article 19(1)(2)? I don't know. But thank you so much for being a part of the session as always. Yes, of course, Veda, you're right. And thank you for your lovely participation. I'll keep you posted through Telegram, and tomorrow I'll get this North Korean tablet fixed, and see you at 9:30 a.m. in the morning. In the meantime, take care of yourself. God bless you. And Shlok says it cannot be a coincidence. Okay, then I'll get it from some other country. No more North Korean products for me. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow, bacha. Bye-bye and take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Thank you.